In this module, we're going to be working with the eMetrotel UCX IVR platform. IVR, Integrated Voice Response, which is also known as a digital assistant or auto attendant by other names. At this point, I want to put up a graphic that will give you an idea of what it is we're going to build with the IVR on the UCX. And so with any normal IVR or auto attendant, essentially what happens is a call comes in from the outside, and the auto attendant is designed to pick up that incoming call, usually right away or after maybe one or two rings. The auto attendant will present the listener with choices, press 1 for sales, press 2 for accounting, press 3 for support, and so on. So in this case here, if the person presses the number 1, it would be redirected to sales. If the person decides to press 2, then they would be directed to, in this case, accounting. If the caller decided to press 3 for support, and they would then be directed to support. Now there is an opportunity, if a person already knows the extension, that they can dial it directly. And although the graphic doesn't represent it, by dialing 0 will bring you back to an attendant or a person sitting who can do a manual transfers for you. So now that we know what we're going to build with the IVR, we have to log into the eMetrotel UCX as administrator, and when you're presented with the status page, click on the PBX button. On the left-hand side, you will scroll down until you find the IVR section, which takes us to the digital receptionist, again, also known as IVR or auto attendant. There's some information here to read if you have more information that you want to gain from it. On the right-hand side, we want to click Add IVR. Right away, we're brought to the Edit Unnamed menu, so we want to give it a menu name. So we're going to call it Main Menu. And the announcement we want is tied into a greeting we made earlier, which we also called Main Menu, that was designed for the greeting itself, which asks the person if they want to press 1 or 2. If you don't know how to make a greeting for the system, I would suggest going to the System Greetings tutorial and follow those directions to make your greetings for the system. Again, just a quick reminder, anytime you see a title that has an underline to it, passing your mouse over it will give you further information. This rest of the section here, the VM return to IVR and repeat loops, these are all sections that will give you the ability to fine-tune your IVR once you've built it. You can always come back in and edit it post. However, at this point, we're just going to jump over that as it goes beyond the scope of this tutorial. Let us scroll down to the bottom section here. What we have here is the 3 default choices to allow your tree to be built for the UCX system. Now, if you need more, obviously you can increase the options by clicking this button, which will put in more selections down here. If you want to get rid of selections because you don't need them, clicking on the trash can associated to that line will remove that. So first of all, we want to put in the number 1 because the person is going to dial 1 for sales. And we're going to direct that to an extension. We put the extension number in after it's been saved and built. You'll see what I mean once we finish off our tree here. Number 2, we want to go for customer service. Again, it's going to go to an extension. And thirdly, we want to put in 0 because we want to give the person an opportunity to talk to a receptionist because they don't know which direction they want to go. And again, we want to put this to an extension because the operator is obviously tied in with an extension number. When we're finished with this, we can click the Save button. When the system comes back, you will notice that the pink line shows up for applying configuration changes. Resist the urge to touch that right now, but scroll back down and you'll notice that what we have filled in for our 3 buttons to press for our tree have now been reordered in numerical value, and they also have now a place to put your choices in for extensions. When we're happy with that, we click Save. Now, when the page comes back, we can then click Configuration Changes if this is where we wanted to finish. And there's nothing stopping you from doing this. However, we do want one more thing to do. We actually have to tell the incoming lines to the UCX system what to do and how to tie the IVR to it. So before we click here, let's just go over to Inbound Trunks, or rather Inbound Routes. And what we have now is we want to pick a route that we want to tie our IVR to. And we have a sample DID number here. And we're going to use that as our inbound route that will be IVR, that will be picked up by the IVR. And right away, what we're looking for is at the very bottom, it says Set Destination. But what we want to do is we want to have it actually picked up by the IVR. So we click IVR and we submit. And then what we have to do now is double check that it's picked up the IVR we've just, when the page comes back, now we can click on our pink line. We have completed building the IVR. We understand that each button can be pressed. It goes to a specific destination via an extension. And we've also tied it in with an incoming line. We can sample that by dialing the line and making sure that, in fact, it has gone to the IVR and pressing the appropriate buttons to see it go through. At this point, you can log out of the UCX.